Arlene had a condition called sarcoidosis. Sarcoidosis is a sort of an inflammatory process within various tissues of the body, and the heart being involved in some cases. Her situation was a little bit unusual, and it's fairly uncommon in a Caucasian woman. But some of the pieces of her case were very typical in that those patients tend to have a lot of cardiac arrhythmias, rhythm disturbances that are sort of reentrant circuits around these areas of inflammation in the heart that make them very prone to not only heart failure, the symptoms of heart failure, but also these cardiac arrhythmias. And that was really the more life-threatening part of her condition were the arrhythmias.
And my heart would beat like 300 and something beats a minute. And, it was just very frightening for me. And then the defibrillator would go off, and 19 times of a defibrillator going off definitely gets your attention. You're afraid to get out of bed and take a shower because that's where it went off the first few times. So you wake up in the morning, you know you got to take a shower, and you're scared to get in there because you think, oh wow, I hope this defibrillator doesn't go off. And many times it did. And the worse my heart was, the more it was failing, the more times the defibrillator went off.
She'd been hospitalized for a week or so, and the doctors decided to send her home.
I came home one night from the hospital at 6 o'clock at night and went to bed, and I had the best night's sleep of my life.
Woke up the next morning, and the part she doesn't know was because she was clinically dead, was she rolled over and talked to me and said she'd had a great night's sleep, and she jumped or surged or whatever, kind of like on television when they do the paddles on a patient and they jump up. Let me tell you, that's real. And then she laid back, and that was it. There was no response. Her eyes were unresponsive and scared me totally to death. So I jump across her chest. I've had CPR training, and so I'm yelling at her and shaking her and just getting ready to start doing compressions because a few seconds have passed. When it's happening, it seems like your life. But I'm sure it was a few seconds.
The next thing I remember is his face just came into focus. And he's like, call my name, and I'm like, well, okay, well, what's going on? And he's like, well, did you feel that, or did you know what happened to you?
She was shocked so many times at home with her internal defibrillator that your body just can't take it after a while.
So if you've never felt a defibrillator, it'll definitely get your attention.
You're not going to get adequate blood flow that your body needs to survive. So she actually was brought back in, and then during that admission ended up getting transplanted.
I never thought it would happen to me. So from November, walking around, being fine, thinking I was healthy, which I thought I was, but to June of last year is when I got my heart transplant. So that's how quick your heart can go. So you just never know.
I think that through the efforts of the American Heart Association to fund research, also to educate the public about heart disease, just the educational efforts have been just extremely beneficial in touching people that think they will never ever have to deal with heart disease and cardiovascular disease.
You have to count on all kinds of people. Your family just to keep you going, keep your attitude up. You have to count on the doctor's knowledge. You have to count on the research people. You have to count on your friends just to keep you going. And I just can't say enough things about the donor family who was generous and kind enough to leave me an organ that was compatible to me. And obviously I'm doing great. I hope it can continue like this. So I'm going to try to take very good care of his heart and try to keep living myself, living for him as well and his family.